Hello everybody, welcome to this IP7 geography lesson on the movement of the Earth in space. Okay. So the first thing I want to talk about is the Sun, and why is the Sun important to the Earth. Alright, I want you guys to take a moment and think about this question. Why is the Sun important to the Earth and to us as humans? Alright, maybe you can pause this video and write down 5 reasons that the Sun is important. Okay, I'll give you a moment to do that. Alright, so hopefully you've paused the video and you've written down some answers. Well, here are my answers. Okay, well, the sun provides heat, of course. It helps plants with photosynthesis. It impacts the weather. It provides energy for all life on Earth. It provides us with health benefits. I know, just personally, I like to see the sun shining in the sky. I like to see a nice blue sky and the sun shining. It helps my mood. And the sun is also the reason for the seasons. We will talk more about that in our next lesson. Okay, so let's continue here. Alright, the movement of the Earth. So the Earth rotates around an axis. What is an axis? Well, if you read this note down here, it says the word axis just means an invisible line around which an object rotates. Okay, so if you can imagine my fist here, right there, is, let me get my head out of the way, is the Earth. Well, let's say the Earth is rotating like this, okay, one direction or the other. The axis on which it rotates would go straight to the center here. You see that? So this pencil, or this pen rather, represents the axis of the Earth, although there's no real tangible physical axis. It just is a invisible line that we can imagine that the Earth is rotating on. Okay, so the Earth is actually angled at about 23.5 degrees relative to its plane of orbit. Okay, so what does that mean? Well, again, if this fist, let me move back a little bit here. Let's say this fist is the sun, and this fist is moving around the sun like this. Okay, well, the Earth is not. We do it the opposite way. Say this fist is the sun, and this one is the Earth. Well, the Earth is moving around the sun, right? It's orbiting around the sun. Okay, this way. Let's say, but it's also rotating like this. It's rotating. Now, it's not rotating at 90 degrees like this in relation to its plane of orbit, but it's angled a little bit like this. So as it goes around, it's rotating, but on an angle. All right, and I'm going to show you a better image, a better example of that in a moment. Okay, so it's angled at 23 degrees relative to its plane of orbit. Okay, the north and the south poles represent the places where the axes meet the Earth, or meet the surface of the Earth. Okay, so here we go. Here's the Earth's axial tilt. You can see it's at 23.5 degrees. Now, that number 23.5 degrees will be very important. Okay, and it is something that you will have to remember. Okay, so the Earth revolves around the sun, as we said, orbits around the sun. So orbit and revolve are synonyms. You can use them interchangeably. It takes 1 complete year for the Earth to orbit around the sun. Okay, so for the Earth to go around the sun 1 complete time, that's 1 year. It takes the Earth 1 day to make 1 full revolution. Okay, so the Earth revolves like this, and when it revolves completely, that's 1 day. But the Earth also rotates around the sun. Okay, and when it rotates completely 1 time, that's 1 year. 1 year has passed. And if you just look at this image here, you can see my Earth is is orbiting the sun, and it's also rotating. And you can also see that it's tilted at 23.5 degrees. You see that? It's not kind of straight up and down 90 degrees, but it's rotated. Sometimes the North Pole is pointed towards the sun, and sometimes it's pointed away from the sun, and that is what causes the seasons, which we will study in our next lesson. But for this lesson, that's it, and thank you for listening.